How's it going, everyone? Horror Classic Man 98 here, in my room. You barely get to see this place, I know that. I mean, the only times you actually saw my room was actually in A Slasher's Life and my two short films, Friday the 13th Bloodsport and A Nightmare on Elm Street King of Dreams. Speaking of which, I actually have the props from the Nightmare on Elm Street one right there. Well, actually, one of the props, my glove. But I'm about to show you guys something really cool. Now, some of you might be wondering where I get my information on these horror films that I reference in my films. Well, I'm about to show you guys. For you see, this isn't an ordinary nightstand. Say hello to my horror film collection. All of these horror films from past, present, and soon to be future, I have right here. I keep it in alphabetical order, separating the VHSs from the DVDs, so that it'll be nice and neat for whenever I want to see a movie. So let's get started. I'm going to show you guys each of my films, one after another. Let us begin. Starting with the A's, sorry, I have to use this lamp right here in order to get good visibility. It is actually somewhere about in 9 o'clock at night, but anyway. Starting with the A's, I have my A Nightmare on Elm Street films, including the digitally remastered flick and the original release from Media Home Entertainment. Along with Freddy's Revenge, Nightmare on Elm Street Part 3, Dream Warriors, The Dream Master, and that's about it for the VHS ones anyway. Moving on, I have An American Werewolf in Paris, my Alien trilogy. It's a box set right here. I actually do have the films in there. Those are just extras, but as you can see, I also have Alien Resurrection. Yes, I do count those as horror films because it's full of blood, guts, and all the goodness that makes an excellent horror film. Plus, it was on Cinemassacre's Monster Madness. Anyway, Bad Dreams, Bubba Hotep, Carnosaur 2. I have Carnosaur 1 somewhere here, but I don't know where I put it. Caped Fear, The Cave, Stephen King's Carrie, Charles Lee Ray in Child's Play, moving on down, The Bride of Chucky, Creepshow 2, the original Creature from the Black Lagoon, Stephen King's Cujo, Darkness Falls, Dawn of the Dead, the original George A. Romero release, Deep Blue Sea, Dracula 2000, Evil Dead, Bruce Campbell, Evil in the Swamps. I have not seen this film, but I plan to eventually. Fear.com, one of those jump scare films. Here's a classic, Universal Studios' Frankenstein. I love owning the classics. Situated. Friday the 13th, Part 6. From Hell with Johnny Depp and Heather Graham. Halloween original release. Roger Ebert gave it a 4. Pretty good. Halloween 2, The Night After He Came Home. Halloween 4. I just up the box. How the heck did that happen? There we go. Halloween 5, The Revenge of Michael Myers. Halloween H2O, 20 years later. Razor! Get in there, there we go. Kevin Bacon in The Hollow Man, which is pretty much just a remake of The Invisible Man, but we'll get back to that later in some other video. Moving on down to the lowest section of my shelf, Hannibal. Get in there. Horror Express. House. Come on, you. House on Haunted Hill. I know what you did last summer. And I still know what you did last summer. Stephen King's It. Jaws. Jaws 3. Lake Placid. This was pretty cool. Phantasm. Again, pretty cool. Hollywood Classics release, Night of the Living Dead. It's a dark night. It's a prom night. Prom Night 2, Hello Mary Lou. Did they really have to make it rhyme? Anthony Perkins, Psycho. Anthony Perkins, Psycho 2. Python 2. Scream 1, 2, and 3, Saw. And now we're moving over here. We have Shark Attack 3 Megalodon, Species, Shaun of the Dead, The Blob, The Blair Witch Project, The Blair Witch Project 2, Book of Shadows, The Exorcist 3, The Lost Boys, Stephen King's The Night Flyer, The Ring. This one's pretty special because it uses the actual VHS tape in a see-through container, so it's like the VHS tape is actually part of the casing. The Shining by Stephen King. Silence of the Lambs. M. Night Shyamalan's The Sixth Sense. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre 1970. Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. Leatherface, The Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3. And yes, I put that with the category because it's The Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre Remake, I put that at the end because it's a remake. On down, I have Urban Legends 3, The Final Cut, and Wishmaster 2. That's the end of my VHS horror films, and now for the DVDs. I of course have my Nightmare on Elm Street collection right here. It goes from 1 to New Nightmare, so there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, Freddy's Dead, and New Nightmare. I also pitifully have the remake, which is no good. Don't see it. 1 through 8, which is Freddy vs. Jason, on 2 Walmart DVD containers. Army of Darkness, Screwhead Edition. Blade Trinity. Moving over to where some of the worst films I have are here. That's the odd part of this. Here's Bloodthirst, Legend of the Chupacabra. This film is god-awful, just god-awful. Do not see this film if you still value your soul. Dawn of the Dead and Land of the Dead double feature pack. That's the remake, by the way. There's Big Daddy right there at the bottom. Friday the 13th 1 through 4 Walmart edition. Friday the 13th Part 5, The New Beginning. Friday the 13th Part 6, The New Blood. The Halloween Collection, which is The Curse of Michael Myers up to Halloween Resurrection. Jaws 2. Lake Placid 3. Leprechaun 1 through 4 in space. My Bloody Valentine remake. Scream 4, I have the whole Scream series right there. The Strangers. Tremors Attack Pack 1 to 4. Tremors 1, 3, and 4. I've yet to have 2 in that collection, but I will one day. And the last thing on this loathsome shelf right here, The Zombie Diaries 2. So there's my cavalcade of blood and guts for you. Hope you enjoyed seeing where I got my info from. I can finally turn off that lamp. Man98, and just saying, keep on screaming.